The last thing that you definitely want to be aware of when you're using CSS with Dreamweaver is that CSS is supposed to be external to your document, and right now we've done all of this CSS internally. Now we could have done this step way long ago. It really doesn't matter when you do it, but it does matter that you do this step. We need to export these styles to an external style sheet. So I'm going to go to my styles and select the entire list. And that way I clicked on one, shift clicked on the end. Then I'm going to right click and do Move CSS Rules. Click on that, and I'm going to move CSS Rules to an external style sheet. We'll click on Browse just to make sure it's going to be in the same folder, and I'll call it Style Sheet or Styles. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes with content management systems it does matter what you call it. But I'll click OK, hit OK again, and it does not exist. Want to create it? Yes. And you'll now see that we have stylesheet.css. Now we still have the styles at the top, and we do want to remove that. I'll go to the code just so we can see what happens when we remove it. Here's our internal style sheet. When we click on remove that, that internal style sheet is now gone, and we're left with link href equals stylesheet.css, and that is, of course, the external style sheet document, which is now ready to be linked to other files. Here's one thing that's really important to note. If I can clear that other page, it doesn't need to be here. If I am working on my HTML page and I decide to change one of my styles, such as I'm going to edit my body, let's see, maybe I'll say that I want everything to use Georgia. I'll hit apply. Maybe not the best font for this right now, but you'll notice that it opened up the style sheet, and currently that style sheet is not saved. So when you try and save your source code, nothing has changed in your source code, so you actually haven't saved anything. You do need to go to your style sheet and save it individually. Now you can do this in Dreamweaver other ways. I'm going to go ahead and change that back for Dana. Maybe. You'll see the style sheet is not saved. When you go up to File, you'll see the ability to do Save All, but that will save all documents. And you can also do F12, and it will say some files are needed to accurately preview this page, which means that it will save any file that's needed to be saved in order to preview the page that you're doing. So that's a really important step as well. And of course, you can export your style sheet and use external styles from the very beginning. You don't have to wait until the end. And I think that's a good basic introduction to using Dreamweaver with your styles and style sheets and creating basic selectors. Now there are a lot of other selectors we haven't done. One of those selectors, I should point out just because it's kind of fun, would be like our adjacent selector. So let's do it just for giggles. I'm going to create a selector which is going to be selecting the first paragraph, and that'll do content plus P. And for this particular one, let's say it'll always be italic. Let's see what happened. Did it work? Maybe not. I'm going to save that and go to the sample style and see if it worked. Doesn't seem to have worked there. Let's see, did I give it the right style? Content plus P. If I preview that in a different browser, sometimes it works. And that's the problem with some, oh, you know what? Of course it's not going to work because it's not what I wanted. I wanted edit. Oops. Go to the code. I want a different tag. Hold up. Alright, you can just click on it, and I need to change this to H1P because this is an H1 tag followed immediately by a paragraph tag, so that should change it, but who knows if it'll work. Sometimes funky selectors like this are a little picky. But it did work, so there you can see that it's italic, the first paragraph only, and that's the adjacent selector.